Felix and Winston here live from Monaco, and the Fed is telling you an inflation lie. After the interest lie and the inflation lie and the jobs lie, this is the latest one. What does it actually mean? Well, for that you need to understand what the data is. So today they told us inflation was 4.9%. And the market's saying, well, that's actually good news. But that's not the real story, because that's not actually the inflation number. And we also want to look at, well, who benefits from high inflation, who benefits from high interest rates, and who writes a comment down below on this video and therefore wins Apple TVs and $800 a year newsletters. That's the real story, I suppose. But if you look at the alternative data, the Penn State University puts out data that gives us an alternative inflation. And that shows that inflation year on year is running at zero. Yes, nothing, nada, nichts. And it's also showing that we're basically about to go into a deflationary cycle. So inflation will actually be negative. So why are they not giving us this number at the Fed? Well, that's the real question, isn't it? Second real question, of course, is why are 60% of you not subscribed to this channel? I see it in the views all the time. Get more real info and help me reach more people with real insight of how we can actually get to financial freedom. But the real problem with the BLS data, which is the official CPI data, is that it shows you what happened a really long time ago. For example, look at the used car index for Feb, and that says, well, CPI inflation will be higher in the April numbers. And if you look at the real life data, it actually shows you for April that prices have actually fallen by 3%. So why are we using old data? What's the logic in that? Look at old truck prices. Old truck prices have fallen on average from $140,000 to just $85,000 in the last year. And with the recession that I'm expecting, I would expect that to come down a heck of a lot more. Oil, crude oil is down 15% from its April peak. Natural gas is down 6%. So really inflation isn't actually 4.9%, but it's probably zero. So why are we not being told this? Well, the real story, I would say, is who caused the inflation? Well, the Fed caused the inflation by printing an insane amount of money during COVID. And you might remember that the Reddit gangs and everyone was loving it. Who benefited from that? Well, it caused a huge asset bubble. And everybody who had assets benefited from this. And of course also big tech, the Microsofts, the Facebooks, the Apples, the Amazons, everybody who was selling something during COVID got a lot of that free government money and that free printed money. Now we are apparently halfway through inflation, but with the highest interest rates we had in years. So now who benefits from the high interest rates, you might ask? Well, first of all, who benefited from low interest rates? Well, again, everybody with assets. They could borrow very freely. Now we have high interest rates, so who benefits from that? Well, banks do. Look at JP Morgan. JP Morgan is sitting on a huge amount of bank deposits, your money. And if you remember that Jay Powell was an investment banker before he got into this role, previously for the Carlyle Group, one of the largest private equity groups and assets managers in the US, something like $360 billion under assets. Well, they've done quite well out of this. And right now, JP Morgan's loving it. The last quarter, JP Morgan made $20 billion just off your deposits. So they're loving this. And small banks are being driven to the brink by the high interest rates. And guess who absorbs the deposits and the occasional small bank as a gift from a gracious and happy US government? Well, JP Morgan. So if you look at all of that and always follow the money trail, I think the story makes a little bit more sense. Now, lastly, of course, Jay Powell is a member of the Republican Party, and I don't care what member of the party you are or who you like, but if you want the current administration, a Democratic administration, to lose spectacularly, well, what would you do? Well, you'd create an enormous recession, wouldn't you? And he's sure to lose. And what are they doing? We've got the real data. It shows inflation is actually zero, yet it's officially 4.9%. Therefore, interest rates are likely to stay high for the rest of the year. And given that interest rates have an 18% lag with their impact on the real economy, we will very, very likely get a pretty significant recession. So put all of that together, get all the charts, all the research, lots of free micro degrees and incredible people. And where are you? You're inside our community, and it's 50 cents a day. It's an absolute bargain. Go to felixschwenzer.org/Patreon. And of course, remember to smash the like button, put a comment down below what you make of this, and you get a chance to win Apple TVs and our $800 a year subscription newsletter. I appreciate you watching. Winston, any final words? Let me see. What's he saying? He says, it's all right. We can all make money, which is what we're doing. Of course, I shared with you my trades from this morning again already for everybody in the student community, and you can see exactly what I do, how I do it. Same is true for my coaches. One of our coaches is even audited. So he trades for family offices. He actually shares those audited reports with the student body. And you get insight from people who are making real money, who are willing to share the very trades that they're doing, the very strategy, which nobody does. I interviewed a guy the other day who runs a trading competition. So the best traders in the world enter. And I thought, well, this guy's going to know some serious insight. I said, so what are the best trading strategies? And he said, I've got no idea. I'm like, how do you have no idea? And he said, well, they don't share it with me. And that's the truth of the financial industry. Nobody shares anything with you. But we are here to change that. So come and join us. Check it out. If you want to really, really learn, go to felixschwenzer.org/coaching down below. And thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.